Oh, hi! Welcome back to our vegan kitchen. I've got a weight loss video for you today. As you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about sustainable weight loss and maintenance. So that's losing weight and keeping it off for good. I'm so tired of yo-yo dieting. This is something that I feel like I'm confident that I can follow for the rest of my life. So let me first start off by saying I'm not a weight loss doctor. I'm not a doctor at all. Did you know that? I bet you didn't know that.
I think we knew that.
I'm not telling you this is what you should do. I'm just showing you what has worked for me, and it's like for your consideration. So consult a doctor, or it would even be better if you consulted like a vegan doctor.
Or nutritionist.
A nutritionist before you embark upon any change in your diet. So let's get started. All right, as of this morning, am down 36 pounds in 5.5 months.
Woo!
Thank you. And I have to say, this has been one of the easiest dieting experiences that I've gone through in my life. And I've been through a lot. I've been on a diet off and on since I was probably like 5 years old, believe it or not. I was a chubby little kid. I was chubby throughout school, slimmed down, unfortunately, because of anorexia and bulimia in high school, and then pretty much struggled back and forth a lot after that. So it's always been an issue for me. And that brings up the point of, I think I know why now. I've been figuring out a lot of things in the last couple of months. I've been learning a lot about nutrition and psychology, and I really think I have some sort of a food addiction. Now, I think that's why this has been so successful, because I've changed my way of looking at dieting. Dieting is not a short-term thing. Dieting is more of a lifetime thing. If you're on a diet for a short time and the whole time you're on the diet you're thinking, oh my gosh, once I get down to this weight I won't have to diet anymore, and then you just go back to your old ways and then you end up putting on that weight and more. So if you look at a diet as a way of eating that you're going to be eating for the rest of your life, you're not constantly thinking, oh, I have this much more to stay on this diet. No, this is what I'm doing, and it's sustainable, and I'm not hungry, and I'm not obsessing about counting calories. I didn't really realize how addicting food was until one of my friend's daughters was diagnosed with anorexia, and they had come home from college after being away, and they realized that there was a problem, and it was anorexia. So they went to a psychologist, and they figured out that food is addicting. But the thing is, when you are addicted to drugs or alcohol, you avoid the drugs or alcohol. But when you're addicted to food, what on earth do you do? Because you need food to live. So it's a very difficult situation, because you have to eat enough food to live, but obsessing about it is a whole nother layer to the anorexia bulimia situation. And I have always felt once you have a situation like that, you have it for the rest of your life. Even though you're not thinking about it constantly, it's still always playing on a loop in the background. So that's probably another reason why dieting has been so difficult and unsustainable for me, because my OCD kicks in and I just get obsessed with it. So this has been very easy for me, because since looking at it as an addiction, which I hadn't looked at it in the past, I know the foods that I need to stay away from. I need to stay away from refined sugar because it's very addicting. I need to stay away from salt because it makes you want to eat more and more and more. And I need to stay away from oil because it is also highly processed and highly addictive. And when you eat oil, you don't really register that as eating calories because your stomach, it's so little that you're eating a lot of calories, but your stomach is saying, there's hardly anything in my stomach. I'm not registering that as you have eaten food. So now that I've identified the problem areas, the crispy, salty fatties, salt, sugar, and oil, life has been so much easier. I can't even begin to tell you how easy it's been avoiding those foods. It's not always easy when you're in a group situation. When you're at home, it's no big deal because if it's not in the house, you're not eating it. If you go to the store and you don't buy it, I guarantee you're not going to eat it because it's not here. But when you're in a group situation, it can be a little bit tempting, but that's, you got to have a good support system to help you out with this. I'm not by any means saying dieting is easy. It's easier this way when you finally look at everything for what it is. The great thing about this way of eating, which is calorie density, is that you're never really hungry because you're always eating enough food to keep you full. A regular diet, like say you're going to Weight Watchers, you really have to stop eating before you're full, because once you're full, you've already eaten too much. But since the food that you're eating with calorie density is so low in calories, you can feel full and satisfied, but you're not going over your allotted calories. And I say, you don't count calories. So when I say allotted calories, I mean your allotted calories, because if you're eating below a certain amount, and I'll put the calorie density chart up on the screen and I'll talk over it. If you're eating below 600 calories, you can see that that's the starchy, it's pretty much all fruits and vegetables except for avocado. Avocado's on the danger side, but that's because it's very high in fat. But just because there are foods that are on the higher end of the spectrum, that doesn't mean you have to stop eating them. That just means you have to really be aware of how much of those that you're eating. You should probably avoid them, but you don't have to never eat them again. So the average human eats about 4 pounds of food a day to feel satisfied. So if you're eating below a certain calorie density, you're ensuring that you're going to lose weight, or at the very least maintain your weight. So you're not worried about, oh, did I eat too much food? Oh, did I eat food that's unhealthy? Because everything below that 600 calories is healthy. You see, bread, the closer you get to the middle, like the bread, the avocado, the pasta and beans on the healthy side, that's when I start to get very mindful of my portions. So like I'm having lunch very soon, so I'm going to show you what I would typically eat for lunch. This is, what's left over from last night. I have a nice stir fry with some tofu in here and broccoli, onions, bok choy.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And I've got rice on the bottom. So right now I'm doing what's called a 50-50 plate. So I'm doing half of the food that I would eat is my starchy situation. So we got the rice in there. The tofu's probably a little bit higher in calories on the spectrum. And then on the other side, for the other half, I'm going to put my non-starchy vegetables. So this is extremely low in calories. This whole bag, this is 35 calories per serving, and there's about 4 servings in there. So this is what, about 135, 140 calories? About 140 calories for this. And this is going to fill you up so much and satisfy you. And it's going to be very low calorie, but you're just going to be so satisfied on it that it's, oh, there's mushrooms in here too. And it's low in salt. It's got a little bit of tamari on it and a little bit of bouillon, veggie bouillon. But the veggies have nothing on them. So what I like to do is I like to flavor my veggies with a little bit of hot sauce, because Yes, it has a very little bit of oil in it and some salt, but I don't use that much. And it's not that bad. So this would be like my typical lunch. In fact, this is probably my typical breakfast too. There's no crime in like eating the same things over and over. It kind of feels nice to know that, oh, this is how much I can eat and still lose weight. So it reduces the stress on me also, knowing about how much I can eat and still lose weight and still be satisfied, not worried about, did I go over? So in conclusion, it's very sustainable. I feel like this time is going to be different because I really understand everything that's going on with how I'm eating in my mind. That's the component that's always been missing for me in the past, the psychological component of why was I overeating? Why was I obsessing about food? I realized just like if I was an alcoholic or if I was addicted to drugs, it's not my fault. My body is what's addicted. It's the processed sugar. It's the processed oil. It's the amount of salt in our food. The FDA just today came out and asked the food companies to please reduce your amount of sodium that you're putting in your foods by at least 12% because it's becoming an epidemic. The more salt the food companies put in the food, the more people are going to crave them. So that has been going up exponentially since the time I was a kid. I can never remember food being as salty as it is now, and especially fast food. So salty. So they're asking them to reduce it because it's causing so many health problems. The salt raises your blood pressure and it stimulates your appetite to eat more food. I don't know what's going to happen in the future because the salt can't just keep going up and up and up and up, and it just seems like it is. So I hope this helps at least one person out there realize, hey, I'm possibly overeating or not, or maybe I'm not eating the healthiest foods, and maybe I should try eating maybe some more vegetables, some less salt, some less processed oil, some sugar. I hope I helped. I don't know. But let me know in the comments, if this has helped you. I would love to know. And if you also want to see more videos on my weight loss and my progress, I'm planning on losing about 24 more pounds, but I'm getting into uncharted territory in a way. I'm going to let my body decide where my set point is, and then possibly just maintain it for a while and then see if I need to lose more after that. But I'm not having any particular goals in mind, really. I'm just going to let my body take the lead now that I know what's going on. So I want to thank everybody for watching. If you made it to the end, you're a champion. Thank you. And I'll see you next time. And until then, much love.